Hello everyone, my name is Scott Tingaki and I am one of the writers in residence here at University of West Indies St. Augustine campus. My debut novella, Red Hibiscus, is the book I always wanted to read but I could never find. It is an ancient Chinese fantasy fiction combined with the tenets of a historical novel and a post-colonial novel. The story centers around three clairvoyants who use their abilities of precognition to fight against humans and gods in order to secure their own future, but also the future of their country, which is China. The novel is set in ancient China, but with the visions of the future, it brings in Caribbean history and aspects of the Caribbean. The first extract I'm going to read is from the beginning of my novel. It helps frame the narrative, and it does this by providing a prophecy. So let's go right into it. May dutifully followed her grandmother to the outhouse. The light of her lantern revealed a brand used for the cattle, 2 scapular bones of a cow, paper, and ink. May I have dreamt of the king. He was doing a reading for the future. In my dream, I saw every detail of this sacred ritual that is known only to royalty. I must recreate the process and make a special request. Are you sure, Grandma Ling? Yes. Start the fire. We must heat the brand. The old woman carefully placed the heated brand on the cattle scapulars until stress marks appeared. The bones cricked and cracked, forming an intricate pattern. She looked at the cracks solemnly, as if a great message was being decoded. May looked on in awe and in fear, since she was worried that senility had sunk its teeth into her grandmother's brain. How else could she have changed so much after one long nap? May write these words on the paper. May immediately set herself in a comfortable position to dictate her grandmother's reading. In centuries to come, 3 will be born with the gift of knowing the future. They will have no need of cracking bones or turtle shells. Each will have priestly duties, and they will see further than any diviner. 2 will be of this soil, the chrysanthemum, and the one with clear wisdom. The 3rd will be from another land, and the water lily will mark him. Now, in this extract, you'll be introduced to one of the main characters, Chu Hua. The cover story about the cause of Chu Hua's living at the temple, which her parents rehearsed as dutifully as their religious incantations, was a perfectly arranged symphony of fiction. The mother would say that she dreamt that a Taoist priest and a Buddhist monk came to her and told her that Chu Hua was destined to be a priestess. Being the devout religious woman she was, or appeared to be, she gave her eldest daughter without hesitation to the monks. Indeed, dreams were the cause of Chu Hua's being uprooted from her home, but it was her own dreams that caused it. On her 7th birthday, Chu Hua fainted. The parents did the usual routine and called for the medicine man. She was given medicine and put to bed. That night, the dream started. Chu Hua's gift had been awakened and her parents were terrified of her. The first dream she had was of her parental uncle being killed by robbers. She was walking along a lonely path lined by fields. It was a typical rural scene. She saw the carriage burning and the horses lay on the ground in a pool of blood. She boldly walked towards the scene of the crime, and the side of her eye, she noticed the body on the ground. The fire illuminated the immediate area, allowing her to see the face of the corpse. It was her uncle. His throat was slit and a knife was protruding from his chest. She dreamt this same dream for 2 weeks straight, every night. Little Chu Hua feared sleep. Then they stopped in a sudden manner. 3 days passed and word reached the Ding household that Zhang Li, her father's brother, had been attacked and killed by robbers. The description of the body matched Chu Hua's vision perfectly. Her parents' blood ran cold. They implored the monks of the local temple to please cure their daughter of her ailment, of her curse. In this extract, you will meet the second leading lady in the clairvoyant trio, Zhao Hui. Zhao Hui's mother was a diviner. She always knew where her lover's servants were and when they would come. This helped her survive. She knew Zhao Hui had a great destiny to fulfill, so her survival was vital. She knew too that no matter how many silver coins, gold coins, grains of rice, or cattle a man has, he can never defy the will of heaven. What will be, will be. Only a fool would walk into the ocean to push back the high tide with his arms of flesh. If no one ever dared, she would defy her lover. She eventually found an abandoned shrine on a mountain. They lived in the shrine and lived off of the herbs and fruits that grew on the mountain. Until the end of her days, Zhao Hui always thought of shrines and mountains as symbols of peace because of her early childhood. Her mother died when she was 10 years old. It started as a simple cough, but became worse and worse over the 2-year period her illness lasted. Her mother refused to leave the safety of the mountain to seek out a medicine man. Instead, she continuously prayed for healing and the protection of her daughter. She died in the middle of the night while Zhao Hui was asleep. The heartbroken Zhao Hui cried day and night for 3 days without ceasing. Her sorrow was unearthly in its intensity and touched the heavens. Her mother's body started to smell as it displayed the early signs of decay, and the flies started to swarm around the corpse. The child did not know what to do. She was raised in seclusion, and the totality of her knowledge lay in the incantation and prayers she learned from her mother. She cried and screamed and prayed. In this extract, I will introduce you to the final member of the clairvoyant triad, Murasaki Ren. At the age of 19, he was a living piece of history. Murasaki Ren, the first male to hold the title of Vestal Virgin at Ise. The Ise Grand Shrine was dedicated to one of the oldest and most revered Japanese deities, the sun goddess Amaterasu. The sacred mirror, the Yata no Kagami, was housed here. It was one of the items used to lure Amaterasu out of the cave where she was hiding while the earth was plunged in darkness by her jealous brother Susanoo, god of the summer storm, who painted the soil crimson with the blood of the innocent. The mirror was a symbol of honesty, wisdom, and hope. Ren was different from the other candidates for the title of Vestal Virgin. He was a clairvoyant, and like Chu Hua and Qi Zhao Hui, he was a member of the prophecy.